तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं गुरुदेव देव। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Let's small bhajan on Gurudev. गुरुदेवाय नमो नमो गुरुदेवाय नमो नमो। हे परमेश्वर नमो नमो गुरुदेवाय नमो नमो। ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वर रूपा त्रिमूर्ति रूपा नमो नमो। त्रिगुणातीता नमो नमो। आनंद रूपा नमो नमो। गुरुदेवाय नमो नमो। हे परमेश्वर नमो नमो गुरुदेवाय नमो। Is the sound okay? Yeah. Somebody posted there is no sound. I thought somewhere mistake. Thank you. Sorry. So, in this satsang class also, again we will see about Tattva Bodha, which is written by Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji. So the previous verses were Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitardhaya Tattva Bodho Bhidhiyate साधन चतुष्टय संपन्नाधिकारिणां मोक्ष साधन भूतं तत्व विवेक प्रकारं वक्ष्यामः। साधन चतुष्टयं किं नित्यानित्य वस्तु विवेकः इहामूत्रार्ध फल भोग विरागः शमादि षटक संपत्तिः मुमुक्षुत्वं च एति। नित्यानित्य वस्तु विवेकः कः नित्य वस्त्वेकं ब्रह्मा तद्व्यतिरिक्तं सर्वमनित्यम् अयमेव नित्यानित्य वस्तु विवेकः। विरागः कः इह स्वर्ग भोगेषु इच्छाराहित्यम्। So Bhagavan, he told, I am going to explain about Tattva Bodha, a book called Tattva Bodha. And he said, so Swamiji, if we do this Tattva Viveka, inquiry into the truth, what will be the result, Swamiji? Then he said, it is Moksha Sadhana Bhutam. You will be liberated permanently. Then there will be no sorrows. Then there will be any kind of ignorance about yourself. That is called moksha. So then he said, but to do inquiry, we need a student. So if a guru is there, there must be one student. Swamiji, we are students only. Then he said, student must have some qualifications. We say, Swamiji, why you put some qualifications for Vedanta Vichara? Actually, we need some qualifications to study anything. For example, if you want to know how to swim, then they will ask you something. You must wear a swimsuit, you must be this way, you must be that way. They will tell something. Otherwise, we cannot fulfill that job. In the same way, Bhagavan is saying, the student must have few qualifications. Sir, what are those qualifications? He said the first qualification is Vivekaha, power of discrimination between what is truth and what is untruth. First one. The second one, he said it is dispassion, Vairagyam. In last class, we have done little inquiry about Vairagyam. Generally, we have many misconceptions about this word called dispassion or Vairagyam. But it is not. It's a great virtue. It's a great blessing if we have that kind of flavor in our mind. Today, Bhagavan is going to explaining some other qualifications. First of all, we should see them, and then we should think them. Then little, we try to practice them. Shall I tell one truth? If we practice any good value, the inner strength, we cannot explain how big we are going to become. Plenty of shanta, plenty of quietude we will get through the practice of values. Today, Bhagavan is explaining some other qualifications for students, for all of us. Swamiji, what are those? This is the third one actually. If you have the textbook, please see. Shamadhi sadhana sampatihika shamo dama uparati titiksha sraddha samadhanam cha iti. The first one is Vivekam, one title. The second one is Vairagyam, that is also single title. Whereas the third one is combination of 6 values. That's why it is called, he is calling as Sampatti. Sampatti means it's a wealth. In other words, we can say it is as beauty of mind. We need some beautiful flowers in our mind. Shankar Bhagavad Pada, he is explaining, we need 6 flowers to decorate our mind. Swamiji, what are those 6 flowers? He is saying, the first one is Shamaha. Shamaha means control of mind. Shamaha. In olden days, they used, if anybody gets very much angry, we used to call them Shama, 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 Shama. Shama means control your mind, control your mind, control your mind. Shamaha. Second one is called Damaha. Damaha means control of senses or sense organs. 2. Third one is uparati. Uparati meaning power of withdrawalness. We could able to withdraw ourselves whenever we need. This is called uparati. And the fourth value is titiksha. Titiksha meaning endurance. In normal word is we call it sahanam. Sahanam means we could able to endure the circumstances. That is also one value. This is fourth one. And fifth one is Shraddha, faith. Sixth one is Samadhanam. Samadhanam meaning concentration. Concentration power. Our single pointedness of our mind. This is called Samadhanam. These six together we can call as Shamadhi Shataka Sampattihi. It's a group of six values. Bhagavan is going to explain one after another, one after another. Which Guruji says, we know knowledge dispels ignorance, like sun. If sun comes, there will be no darkness. If knowledge comes, then there will be no any kind of ignorance of ourselves. But he says, the practice of these values, Shamadhi, Shataka, Sampatti, they are like dawn. Dawn before sunrise. Before getting knowledge only, we can see the flavor of knowledge. We can see the lightening in our heart. We can see the glory of our life if we practice these values. And another thing, Bhagavan is titled as Sampattihi, wealth of mind. We all have some wealth. For example, we have financial position may be good, our status in society. This is all called wealth only. But the problem is this material wealth, if we expand, then slowly it will decrease. Slowly billionaire will become millionaire, millionaire becomes come. Whereas this sampatti, if we give or if we practice, it will increase. One Subhashitam is there in our Subhashitas. What is the glory of this good values? He says, if we practice these good values, they will increase. Their quantity and quality both will increase. This is one thing. Other thing is, material wealth will give sorrow. This mental wealth or the Hridaya Saundarya will give always bliss only. We may be poor. We may be in any condition. But if our mind cooperates with us, we will be king. And if our mind, if it doesn't cooperate with us, then it's a hell. We may be in palace, but if it is not correct, it will be hell. If it is right, then it will be a heaven. See, that's why Pujya Gurudev always used to say, you need not worry much about spiritual practices. People may think, oh, I cannot do spiritual practice because Swamiji, you people say, do that, do this, do that, do. He said, no. It is a little maladjustment of our mind. Little you adjust, you will get nice voice from you only. It's like a radio tuning. If we don't tune properly that radio knob, it will give such a, what we call echo. You put little effort and just tune the knob, then you will get melody. The spiritual practice is also same. There is no need not to put so much effort to correct ourselves. Basically, we are God. Basically, we are Brahman. Something is obstructing that knowledge. Something is obstructing that awareness. That's very, 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 very minute adjustment. That adjustment is called as spiritual sadhana. It doesn't require any kind of external efforts. Little if you adjust our mind, then we will be king of our own heart. Today, Swamiji is saying about Shamaha. The first value is called Shamaha. Shamaha. Shamaha kaha. Student asking, hey Guru, what is known as Shamaha? You said Shama, one is called Sampatti. Then he said Mano Nigraha. Nigraha means control. Mano Nigraha means control of mind is called Shamam. We can taste the smell. If a mind is controlled and Shanta, then that flavor is different. Shamaha. Bhagavan is explaining. Hey, mere beta, this is one spiritual practice. Again and again, keep the mind calm. Keep the mind calm. Swamiji, before knowing this Mano Nigraha, we should analyze what all these things are there. First of all, we should know actually what is called as mind. We may call so many, this is my mind is like that, my mind is like this, my intellect is like that, my intellect is like this. First of all, what is the definition for mind? All Chinmaya Mission family, we know the definition for mind because Gurudev again and again he says, mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. Simple. Where are the thoughts flowing? That platform only called as mind. He says, compare your mind with the river. See, the river status depends on the flow of water. In the same way, the status of our mind depends on the flow of our thoughts. If the water is muddy, we call it as muddy river. If the water is very clean, we call it as a clean river. If the water is very cool, we call it as a cool river. In the same way, if the thoughts are muddy, we can tell he is very dull-witted person. If the thoughts are very cool thoughts, then we can say he is very cool personality. From where we will get this personality? From the texture of our thoughts only. That's why he says, as the thought, so the mind. As the mind, so the man. As the man, so the world. Generally, we complain about world. No. If our mind is good, then whole world is good. Then we sing high. Oh. Actual root cause is here. Your mind is so calm today. That's why you are enjoying the whole world. If the mind is very hot and garam, then whole world is like hell. Ye acha nahi, wo acha nahi. Swamiji. In one of his class, he says, one person, he stood before the mirror and his image in the mirror is not looking good. Then he said, somebody asked, sir, this image is not good. Then this man said, change the mirror. Then we will get nice image. Problem not with mirror, sir. Problem with your face. If your face is good, definitely your image will be good. In the same way, if our thoughts are good, then mind will be good, our personality will be good, then our response with the world will also be good. So correction is in our hands. We cannot correct the world. It will be as it will be. We have right, we have power to correct our own mind only. Swamiji, we understood mind. Then Swamiji, you said, mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. What kind of thoughts we are entertaining, Swamiji? Then they say, very careful experience. If you see our mind, these thoughts are, we can classify it into three types. One is check the quality of our thought. One, what kind of qualitative thoughts I am thinking, quality of thoughts. Second one is quantity of our thoughts. How many thoughts I am let go. Quantity of thoughts. Third one, very important one is the direction of the thoughts. Where all the thoughts are leading towards. The direction of the thoughts. Quality of the thoughts and the quantity of the thoughts and the direction of the thoughts. This is all we should know because it is my mind. I am not checking another mind. So what kind of quality I am entertaining? How many thoughts I am entertaining? Where all my thoughts are going? If you see, they say, actually the quality of thoughts belong to three categories. Some thoughts are called as Shanta Vritti. Shanta Vritti. In the quality only. Other thoughts are called as Ugra Vritti. Ugra Vritti means agitated thoughts. Two. Third one is called Manda Vritti. Manda Vritti means very dull. These three. Shanta Vritti, peaceful mind. Ugra Vritti, agitated mind. Manda Vritti, dull mind. This is all our mind only. If our vritti is shanta, then whole atmosphere will become shanta. Haina? Anywhere, even in market also, we can be shanta if our thought is shanta. Let it be whatever the condition of the society, let it be whatever the condition of the office or house, whatever it may be. If our thought is shanta, then everything will be shanta. We can come to a right conclusion if it is right. They are called shanta vritti. Another is called ugra vritti, agitated mind. If it is agitated and everything will become agitated. If you go to temple also, we cannot be peaceful. Because it is not all right. Third one is dull. Swamiji, itna neend aa rahe Swamiji aapke class mein, because that is of dullness of the thought. So what should we do, Swamiji? Very, very important and practical tip this one. If you want Shanta Vritti in the mind, they say, you be prepared before going into the action. Check the mind. And prepare yourself, or they say, you just hint the mind, be peaceful, then it will be peaceful. That is the greatness of our mind, sir. Whatever we say, it will listen. It's a practical experience. If we say the mind, be calm, it will be calm. It's our servant only. Its design itself is our servant. So the command the mind before going to the action, you just be calm. Let the condition be whatever. You just be calm, then you will be calm. How simple. So if we think before activity, then you will be calm. Otherwise, if we straight enter into the action, then definitely it will be agitated. Because we cannot expect who will speak what, who will do what. It is not in our hands. We are not checking our mind and straight we are going to action, then definitely it will be agitated. Second one. Third one is very, very problematic. Swamiji, what is that problematic? Swamiji, we never think of our mind. Whatever comes, we will allow. If sleep comes, sleep allow. If anger comes, allow the anger. Whatever comes, they will speak it. Some people, they are like that. They don't think anything. Something comes into their mind and they just spit it out. This is called dull mind. These three belong to the quality of our mind. So if we want to raise our quality of the mind, the simple tip is You just keep the mind in Shanta Vritti. Just command the mind, you be calm. It will be calm. We know this. Shanta Vritti. Second one is, Swamiji, quantity of thoughts. Gurudev says, we just allow thousands of thoughts in a second or in a minute, but it is very, very harmful. Each thought carries some energy from our source of energy, you call, or Atma, you call, whatever it may be. Each thought carries some energy out. So if we are very careless, whole our internal energy will get dissipated. This is the difference between yogi and bhogi. Yogi means who controls mind. Then that's why he is very charming and glowing, and we say, Swamiji, if he speaks, Swamiji, something hits to my mind. Swamiji, he is always pleasant, Swamiji. How, Swamiji? This is the simple. He controls his mind. He doesn't allow so many unnecessary thoughts. We should be careful about the number of thoughts also. That is called quantity. Whatever necessary, you just allow the mind to think that much only. If it is not necessary, just stop it. Quantity of thoughts, this is the second one. And the third one is direction. It is like mind always, this is called scattering. Scattering means all directions. That's why Puj Gurudev says, put your mind where your hands and legs are at working. Our thoughts such a way that whatever we are doing, we should think that much on. Last class we explained, if you are brushing, just brush it. If you are eating, just eat it. If you are bathing, just bathe it. It's such a comfortable. 100% we can enjoy our bathing. 100% we can enjoy our eating. Many people, they used to ask Swami Chinmayanandaji, if he eats, there is a beauty. Such a beautifully he eats it. Each what we call dal, chawal, bhaji, everything. The simple thing is he is eating, matlab he is eating 100% eating, that's all. While eating, you know, this mind cannot scatter in many directions. TV watching, speaking, doing. Some people, they don't sit even eating time also. They walk all over the house and they eat it. No. Put your mind where your hands and legs are at working. Then this multi-directional attitude of the mind will be controlled. This way, one is the quality and the quantity and the direction of the mind we can put in a way, in a pattern. That is called Manonigraha. That is called Manonigraha. And one more thing I want to tell. In our sadhaka life, what we call, many people, they ask, Swamiji, I want to do meditation. Otherwise, I want to do japa. I would like to do japa. But the problem is, Swamiji, I could not control my mind. If I sit my meditation only, if I sit for my meditation only, that time only it will become violent. If I see TV, 2 hours I can enjoy, Swamiji, TV show. But this meditation show, 5 minutes I cannot sit, Swamiji. I don't know what's the problem. This is a practical question, sir. We all ask to gurus, what is the problem? Why I could not concentrate myself on sattvic activities, doing japa, doing meditation, or studying books. In chapter 6, Arjuna also got the same question. He asked the same question to Krishna. In 6th chapter, it is so nice. Bhagavan, he explains so much glory about meditation. He says, Arjuna, you do that, you will become that, you do this, you will become that. So much, so much, so much. Bhagavan explained to Arjuna. After whole chapter, the last 5-6 questions, Arjuna asked one question to Krishna. Bhagavan, you are asking me to do meditation. And you are glorifying meditation very much, Swami. But one thing I want to tell, that is, Chanchalam hi mano Krishna. Hey Krishna, my mind is so chanchala. Chanchala means it's unstable. Pramadhi, inadvertent. Balavat, very stubborn. Drudam, unyielding. My mind is this, Krishna. How can I concentrate and sit and do meditation? We need some nigraha, Vaina. We need some sattvic atmosphere in mind. Then only we can do this meditation, or japam, or reading of books, or listening satsang, all these. Then you know what Bhagavan answered this question. First of all, he congratulated Arjuna. Bhagavan did not say, see what kind of mind you have, this, that. No, he congratulated Arjuna. Arjuna, you are 100% right. Mind has all these qualities. It is chanchalam. It is balavat. It is drudam. Still, we can control Arjuna, this mind. Then Arjuna asked Swami, Swami, then tell me, how can I control this? He said, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha. If you do these two things over the mind, then in a short time it will be under you. One is abhyasa. Abhyasa means practice. For example, if we want to do meditation, in the beginning it is very difficult, but don't drop it. Abhyasena means practice, 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 practice. Slowly you do it. Slowly it will come under you. Abhyasena. This is practical with any kind of learning. In the beginning, if you go for jogging, first 2 days, so much painful. All body muscles will get so much pain. Third day also you go with pains. Fourth day also you go. After 1 week, there will be no pains. You are a champion of jogging. Abhyasena tu kaunteya. Second one is vairagyena. Vairagyam means correct analysis of the external objects, external persons, and external situations. If you do these two, then this meditation is easy. Control over the mind is easy, Arjuna. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha. By these two, we can do, Bhagavan says. This is one thing. And regarding this mind control, Guruji says one thing. Very practically. He says, if a person is in his own room, for example, he gives this example. A person is in his own room. Then Guruji asking one question to this person. Are mere beta, sometimes you feel go to outside. Hai ki nahi? He said, yes, Guruji, sometimes I go outside. Then Guruji said, analyze what are the causes. They are calling you outside. They are letting you outside. There are two. One is, if somebody from outside, if they call us, we go out of our room. This is one thing. Somebody has to call us. Come, we can go to the park. Come, we can go to the movie. Come, we can go to the beach. Then we go out. This is one thing. The other thing is, we ourselves, we feel, go to out. Arey, itna bore lag rahe. Just I go out and I'll refresh myself and I'll come back. These two are the causes, ain't it? Yes. In the mind structure only, these two only. One is the attraction of the objects. They call us. They call the mind to come out. Hey mind, please come and enjoy me. The attraction of the objects is one cause. The other thing is our inherent vasanas, our own tendencies. This tendency, it pushes the mind out. We know that. If that particular vasana comes, we cannot keep quiet. That vasana, they say this vasana is in unmanifested form. All vasanas are ours. They are in unmanifested form, but they push the mind with so much power, we cannot sit at place. We just go out to enjoy the object, whatever it is asking. These two are the causes. One is the flavor of the external objects. Second is the power of the internal vasanas. These two are the causes for this restlessness of our mind. So Swamiji, what should I do? You do one thing. You just refuse to entertain them. Practice this. That's why Gurudev says, if we can say no to our mind, we can say no to anyone. Nobody can do anything. You try to practice this sadhana. You just refuse to entertain which are not necessary. Then mind will be controlled. This is all called Mano Nigraha. So the main principle for mind control is we have to check our thoughts. We have to see our mind. That's why he says quiet, alert and vigilant mind is only called as mind. It should be quiet, our mind. Second one is alert. Always we should be alert. Third one is vigilant. All time you check your mind. What are the thoughts are coming? What I am entertaining? If we focus these three, then definitely our mind will be controlled. This controlled mind only can do the inquiry into the truth. Shanta manaha eva. This peaceful mind only can do the Satya Anveshana. We cannot do Satya Anveshana with agitated mind. Why people they go to Himalayas to meditate? Why people they go to Tirtha Yatra to get some peace of mind? To get this Shanta Vritti. If we practice it, in our room also we can be Shanta as in Himalayas. This is called maladjustment of our own mind. Just to check the thought. If we stood this place, or if we stood at this thought level, then whole world is like a heaven. In Vyavahara also, in spiritually also. Both lives will be what we call joyful or what we call pleasant. If we don't check our mind, this is also worst and this is also anyhow we are not going to get any kind of spiritual progress. That's why Bhagavan is saying this control of mind is a sampatti. It is a wealth. And moreover, we can conserve a lot of internal energy if we can control our mind. This is one value. The second one is called Shamaha. It's also, you know, looking like same. One is called Shamaha. The second value is called Damaha. Another one is called Damaha. Swamiji, what is the meaning of Damaha? Means Damaha is equal to Indriya Nigraha. Careful. The first Sampatti Shamaha is called Mano Nigraham. The second value Damaha is called Indriya Nigraham. Control over senses. Swamiji, control over mind itself is so big thing, and we should control senses also. Yeah. Because the senses are my senses. I have to do something for them. Otherwise, they will lose their vitality. Then tell Swamiji what is called this Damaha, sense control. They say this mind control and sense control, they go together. If mind is controlled, then definitely senses will be controlled. Then there is no problem. If mind is controlled, then senses will be controlled. But then why Shankaracharya ji, he is enumerating separately this Damaha, we should able to do our sense control, Swamiji. There is a logic. That is, sometimes if we could not able to control our mind, in that time, if we can control our senses, then problem will be solved. For example, sometimes we may feel so much anger. Our mind is not in our control. So much anger is coming. So much passion is coming. So much negativity is coming inside the mind. Even though I am very angry inside, if I don't express angry, then the problem will be solved. As though he did not get the anger. Here, we control that negative emotion at the senses level. That is called sense control, Damaha. Sometimes we may not conquer our mind. Sometimes we may not control our mind. Even though if we can control our sense level, then it will be nice. Then it will be fine. That is called Damaha, sense control. And Guruji explains, this sense control is like controlling the horses. He says, the rider of the horse, he always should be ride over the horse. He cannot hang the neck of the horse. If we hang the neck of the horse, we will go where the horse is going. Then there will be definitely accident. So we should ride over the horse. Ride over the horse meaning we should ride over our tongue. Sense me one, I am giving one example. We should ride over our tongue. I should know what I am speaking. I should know what I am seeing. I should know what I am smelling. I should know what I am doing with senses, with my hands and legs. Then that is called I am the master of my senses. If I don't know, I am the slave of my senses. Many times it happens to us. Sometimes something goes out and it will bring such a calamity. So many people, they lose their powers because of this uncontrolling their speech. If they don't talk properly, they will lose it. This is the special significance of sense control. Even though sometimes if our mind we cannot control, we could able to control at the sense level. Just stop it. Just stop it. Then the problem will be, that the problem can be eliminated. This is called sense. And one more thing, Swamiji gives one example. Some people, they do upavas. Upavas means it's a sense control at the food level. They do upavas, but they think about food the whole day. Swamiji, today I am doing upavas. Evening, what should I prepare? Swamiji, evening I prepare puri, Swamiji. Evening I prepare kasri, Swamiji. Evening I prepare fruit salad, Swamiji. Then this is not called sense control and mind control. They should go together. If we are doing some tapas at the sense level, slowly, mind also should be tuned in that. If you do upavas, then mind also should be in upavasam. Whole day, don't think of food. Think of God. Then we know that greatness. If anybody has this kind, one in Viveka Chudamani, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says one line. He says, among all the senses, we have 10 senses. Among all the senses, if we can control our tongue, then all 10 will be controlled. Especially speech, Vagi Indriyam. Somebody asked Puj Gurudev, Gurudev, you came from Himalaya with empty hands. That time he doesn't have anything, with empty hands. Now you conquered whole world. You have so many swamis, you have so many brahmacharis, you have so many schools. Hundred thousands of students are studying in your schools. So much good work you are doing for society. Swamiji, how could you do it? Do you know what is the answer? He said, with 2 inches of my tongue. My investment is 2 inches of my tongue. He conquered whole world. This is called sense indriya nigraham. We should be such a polished personality. If we speak something, it should be beautiful. Our glance should be beautiful. Some people, they see so ugly. No. We should be prasanna aksha. Prasanna aksha, always see pleasantly. The people say, if our drishti is nice, then the problem we can remove the problem with glance only. It is there in Yoga Shastra, sir. I am not bluffing. For example, if a poor person or a diseased person, if he comes, see him with a pavitra drishti, then the disease will go away. This is a fact. Because so much divinity is there in our heart. Our drishti should be prasanna drishti. Our vak should be suchi. Suchi means very pure. We should be very cultured. This is called damaha. That's why we prostrate to sadhu people. We do worship to sadhu people because of their purity. Our purity should reflect even in our sense level also. We should see everyone with purity. We should talk with everyone with shuchi. And we should not touch what not to touch. We should touch what to be touched. This is called damaha. Shamaha is called manonigraham. Damaha is called indriya nigraham. And the third one is called uparati. Bhagavan Shankaracharya gives the definition for uparati is swadharma anushtanam. See, it's a great value, sir. Somebody asked Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhiji, can you explain what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? He said, Bhagavad Gita is saying, every individual, he should do his duty properly. This is the essence of that spiritual text. That is called uparati, one definition. Swadharma anushtanam. Doing our duties properly is called uparati. Generally, we ignore, but it should not be. And another misconception is people, they say a great work means he should be like a leader of a nation. Great work means he should be a chief of a company. No. Great work meaning any work, if we do wholeheartedly, that work will become great. Not the magnitude, not the position of the work. The way we are doing the work, it gives the beauty and glory to the work, not the position, not or anything. It will give divinity, sir. If we talk with any person, if we put our heart in our negotiation, then he feels he is very great personality. He's a great man. Whole life he will see towards us. So work doesn't depend on the magnitude or position or status. The beauty of work depends on what is our attitude. The main attitude towards the work is we should do our duty, but we should never ignore our duties. Whether it is a little work, cooking a food, taking care of our children, taking care of our family, taking care of needy, taking care of office. If it is 9 o'clock, by 9 you should be in office. Not 9:15, not 9:30. If it is not necessary, don't put any leaves. This is all discipline about discipline towards duty. In our course, Sandipani course, they start Vedic chanting class early in the morning, like 5:30 early morning. 5:30 class means we should get up at 4:30. We should take bath and dress properly, take books and go to temple. There will be Vedic chanting. So all seasons, okay, this brahmacharis will do. In winter season, getting up at 4:30 and taking bath we used to have like 4 bathrooms, something. It's a common bathrooms in our hostels. And we should wait outside. The other person should come, then only we can enter. So it takes time. Some people, they'll get up at 2 o'clock because of this bathroom problem only. So we have to do and go to class and this is some days people, they used to get absent for this Vedic chanting class. For example, 50 people, they used to attend 40, 30, 25 something. Somebody complained to Pujya Guruji Swami Tejo Maharaj. So Guruji, people are not regular for this Vedic chanting class, especially in this winter season. Then do you know what Guruji said? In class, in Vedanta class, he said, if your hands and legs are not cooperating with you, that means you are with a disease, then only you can skip the class. If you can walk, if you have the ability to walk, then just go to the duty. Don't give any kind of excuse. If they are working, you are in work. You understood? If they are working, our hands and legs, then we will be in work spot on. We have no right to take rest. Because they are working. Bhagavan gave them to work, not to keep them on bed. He said this way. This is called Swadharma Anushtana. People may say Swadharma Anushtana means I have to do Gayatri Japa, I have to do Havan, I have to do this, I have to do. No, you just do your duty sincerely. That will give everything. Swadharma Anushtana meva uparatihi, he says. But there is something. In Swadharma Anushtana also there are so many. They say in Orthodox language it is called Varna Ashrama Dharma. Our Swadharma depends on 2. One is our stage of life. This is called Ashrama. Swamiji, what is our stage of life, Swamiji? We have 4 stages in our life. One is called Brahmacharya stage. Second one is called Grihastha stage. Third one is called Vanaprastha stage. Fourth one is called Sannyasa stage. This is called Asrama. If you are in a stage of Brahmachari, you must do the duties which the Brahmachari should do. The main duty in Brahmacharya period is learning process. That's why Brahmacharya is not this Brahmachari. Before marriage, the main duty for children is study, 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 study. You must learn. You must acquire the knowledge. In Gruhastha Swamiji, you have to do all responsibility. That's why Gruhastha is called Bhadyata. Bhadyata means it's a responsible stage of life. The Brahmachari, he need not worry about the income of the family. But the Gruhastha cannot do that. He has to get the money. He has to spend the money. He has to feed all the people who are depending on. This is called Grihastha. And the Vanaprastha is called retirement life. In retirement life, please you retire. Swamiji, 92 year also I want to do get grabbing. No. You do for your own sake. You do your personal sadhana. Vanaprastha. If you get any time Vairagya, you can opt for Sannyasa. This is also dharma only. This dharma according to stage of life. That is called asrama dharma. Another one is there that is called varna dharma. Varna dharma means nowadays they call it as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. So their caste. No, this is not caste. This is called position in life. Where you are working. You are working in a thinking group. You are working in an administration group. You are working in an accumulation group. Or you are working in a what we call laborious class, where we have to put our physical work. These four only they called as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Brahmana means he is a thinking officer. Bureaucracy we call nowadays. The bureaucratic man, he cannot take an axe and cut the tree. His job is different. This is called position in life. Stays in life and position in life. We can see in the next class properly. If we do according to our position, according to our stage in life, then our mind will be shanta. Uparati, we can get. These are all the manasika sampatti, Bhagavan says. In the next class, we can see about Uparati, Shraddha, Titiksha, Samadhana, Ityadi. Thank you. Hari Om. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.